No. Nah, sorry. Good game, man. Kind of. What's going on, guys? Ergo here with a Madden 18 defensive scheme. We're going to be running out of this 3-4 odd, and I know I posted a video on this about a month ago, but I've updated it, and I think it's a lot better running it this way. I was showing the show blitz version, and this is definitely just a more solid way of running this defense. The show blitz version is nice. You can definitely mix it in with this, but it has a tendency to get beat over the top, where this one is you're not going to get beat over the top at all. If anything, they're going to have to think and dunk you down the field. The base play we're going to run is this pinch dog to press. That's the play I like to run. You can also run this pinch dog 3 if you like a cover 3 shell more, but cover 2 is so good this year that I think you should run the cover 2 version. So I'll show you the setup now, and the setup is universal. So we're going to be able to send heat out of cover 3, cover 2. You can even send out of man if you want, even this cover 0. The setup's going to be the same for everyone, and that is you're going to base a line, pinch your linebackers, and spread your line, and then crash your line out, and QB contain your defensive ends. And the QB contain is going to just get your outside linebackers, they just get glitchy when they're on contain, especially like on play action or on like jailbreak screens. They'll play the jailbreak screen a lot better. But this is just the universal setup. So one more time, base the line, pinch your linebackers, spread your line. And another thing that does is when you pinch your linebackers and spread your line, you see how the linebackers and your DNs are like so close to each other. That's also going to cause problems. And this isn't a blitz. There's not really any blitzes this game that get in every time, no matter what. But with this, even if they don't come in unblocked, basically what this does, this setup, the pinching your linebackers and spreading your line, what this does is it's going to make every one of your rushers be one-on-one with one of the linemen. And in this game, that's going to cause block sheds. It just is. It's part of defense this year is getting just crazy block sheds. And with this setup, you're going to have a hat on a hat every time, which is what you're looking for as a defense. A lot of times they're going to get in unblocked, but if they don't, they're going to be just going to have to beat one lineman. So again, base the line, pinch linebackers, spread your line, crash your line out. And I like to put one of these middle linebackers on deep blues. If it lets me, there you go. I like to put them on deep blues. That's just kind of the meta this year, is running cover 2 and putting one of those linebackers on the deep blue and then kind of patrolling everything in like the short middle with your user. So I'll get into the clips now and explain a little more about how to run this defense. So like I was saying during the setup, you're going to have these linebackers pinched and the linemen spread out, and they're going to be like right next to each other when he hikes the ball, and that causes just all kinds of problems for the linemen. A lot of times that outside linebacker is just going to slip by because they're just going to get glitched on the outside. You see here the two defensive tackles, or the two offensive tackles, if they do block one of your linebackers, it's not going to be for long, especially if you have good rushers on those outside linebacker spots. They're going to be one-on-one with the tackles, and a lot of times they're going to shed pretty much instantly. And with that cover 2 shell, they can't really go to the flats right away. They have to block an extra guy and look towards the middle of the field, which is where you have your middle linebacker in a deep blue, and you're also patrolling that as well. It's just that cover 2 shell. If you can run a cover 2 shell with a middle linebacker in deep blue and get a rush, that's the best defense you can run this year for sure. So I'll let these clips play. You can run this. I'm going to show you how to set it up in other plays in 3-4 odd, and it's going to be that same setup. But you can blitz different guys and get different things happening. Alright, now that we have our base defense, I'm going to show you how to run different kind of shells and get heat different kind of ways. You don't always have to send the two outside guys. Sometimes you want to send the middle linebackers and get the same amount of pressure. So I'll start with this cover 3 sky. It's going to be the same setup. Base the line, pinch your linebackers, spread your line, crash your line out, and then QB contain. But with this, you see how only one outside linebacker is blitzing now as opposed to two with the pinch dog? What you're going to want to do is, no matter what the shell is, this is just cover 3, but no matter what the shell is, the side that the outside linebacker is blitzing, in this case it's on the right of the screen, you're going to want to take that middle linebacker and blitz him as well. So that's what it's going to look like for this play in particular. The cover 2, I believe, the linebacker on the other side is blitzing. So the left of screen, outside linebacker is blitzing. Same setup, pinch linebacker, spread line, crash your line out, QB contain. But this time we're going to want to send the middle linebacker on the same side that the outside linebacker is blitzing. So you can run this from any play. You're always going to be sending 5 guys, and this way things are just going to get glitchy. When you have your linebackers pinched and your line spread out like that, just all kinds of chaos happens. If you're running cover 2, again, I would suggest putting this guy on a deep blue, but the blitz gets there pretty fast if they're not blocking anyone, so you don't always have to do that, but I prefer to do that. I'd rather someone get a 5-yard gain than pick up the splits and hit me down the field. You can also run it from this cover 0, and I showed you how to run the cover 0 blitz in my last video with the show blitz version of it, but with this setup, with the baseline, pinch your linebacker, spread your line, it'll also come in, and sometimes it'll come in from the A gap, sometimes it'll come in from the outside. It just depends. It's kind of random this year. But what's important is the setup. It's not really the play in particular. It's just that you're getting those outside linebackers and those DNs to like pretty much be right next to each other. All right, so I'll let the rest of the clips play, and then I'll get on to the wrap up.
Think I can fly. Think I can fly when I'm with you. My arms are wide, catching fire as the wind blows. I know that I'm rich enough for pride. I see $1 billion in your eyes, even if we're strangers till we die.
Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I keep saying, what's really important about this defense is the setup. It's getting those linebackers and those defensive ends to like pretty much be the same person for a second, and getting them to get glitchy around the offensive line. I do prefer this setup more than the one I showed you before. The one I showed you before I think just gets beat deep too much. If you're near the goal line, you're not worried about getting beat deep, you can run the show blitz setup. It still is pretty good. Still, you're going to get pressure. But I prefer this setup a lot more because people have to dink and dunk you down the field. Okay, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I appreciate you guys watching. Ergo out.